Hey, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the build of our van as we continue on with some more electrical stuff. Today we're going to make a light switch. I need to install some switches for our lights and for some other components, and I'll show you where we're going to put that, show you the light switches, and well, let me just turn you around here and you can take a look. So right above our door here, just below the sink, right here in this section, because the sink is in the way, I can't put a drawer or anything that I think is useful there. A lot of people would put one of these little pop-out deals on here. They can put sponges and soaps and things like that, but I am going to bypass that. This is where we will install our light switches, and these are going to be the touch switches, and they'll illuminate once you turn them on by Onikos. And I have 8. I think I'm going to need around 10, so I'm a couple short, but we can get by with what we have. So let me show you what we're going to do for the switch plate. I think you're going to like it. All right, so we're out here at the CNC, and I have, if I pull it out here, I have a panel that I made, and this is what we're going to drill our holes in. We're going to drill some holes in here in the back, and then we're going to make a pocket that when we put the switches in, that we'll be able to fasten the nuts that are on the back so they're not sticking on this, and then we'll be fastening this onto the front of the cabinet. So I have, like I said, this plate, and I've got a little setup here. Let me show you. So this is my setup, just so the boards don't move around. Got a couple of little supports here. We'll put some double-sided tape down, and then we'll put this in place. And then I have one more board we're going to put here, and that way it doesn't move around on me. I just don't want to take any chances of things sliding around, just even a millimeter. And then we'll fire up the CNC. We're not quite connected just yet. And then we'll get everything initialized, set the program in, and then we'll start cutting. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and cut all the holes. Then we'll come back and cut the pocket, and then we'll come back and we'll cut the shape. So let's get started with that. I think it should turn out all right, I hope, if I've got everything set up right. So let's do it. I'm going to go ahead and get things fastened down, fire up the CNC, and next shot you'll see is CNC doing its job. see how well we did. That's going to be my light switch plate. So we'll put our switches in here, and that'll be our switch plate. And we'll mount that on the front of the sink. Pretty cool. So I got a little bit of cleanup here to do. We'll sand those a little bit smooth. And I was worried about the ears maybe chipping out, but they held in place. So that's a plus. Corners look nice and sharp. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. Now, when I started out, I did have a couple of problems. For some reason, it wasn't cutting all the way through. So I had to reset and change the G-code a little bit. And then whenever you do that, you try to get everything back to zero on your XYZ axis. And I came ever so close. So I think those are going to fit. I think those are going to fit. All right, I'm going to clean this up, and then we'll throw the switches in there just for grins and giggles and see what it looks like. And yeah, we'll go from there. Cool. Our Batman switch plate. All right, so for fun, we are going to see if our switches, which would be a drag if they didn't fit. So we're going to take all these out of the packages and then take a look at them. Comes with your instructions. Yes. Your instructions on how to wire them up, which is doggone handy. And then each package has our switch. All right. So to secure this to our plate, it has a little nut on here, which we'll have to take off. They're pretty fine threads, so it takes a while to get them off. All right. Let's hope they fit. And we'll stick the wires in here first. And, oh, yes, they fit. All right, let's try to put our nut on here. Yeah, so that's going to look pretty good on there. So, yeah, then we just have to drill a few holes into the cabinet, mount that in there, and we are secure. So, let me go ahead and take the rest of these out of the package, get those installed, and just kind of take a look at it. Because, you know, right now we just have a bunch of holes looking at you. All right, let me do that. All right, so we are down to the last switch to install. So I'll take this nut off because there's one other part I forgot to show you. Well, two parts actually. So these are nice quality switches. I like these. I put these in my teardrop when I built that. Had I known about these when I was building my RV, I would have put them in the RV. but they're also marked as far as positive and ground on the unit itself, which is kind of a rare oddity. You don't find those on a lot of switches. And also, I forgot to mention that it does come with a O-ring that goes on the front here. So we'll just kind of put that down. And that gives you some water resistance. I wouldn't say you got watertight, but you do have some water resistant. And so we'll put that in our last little deal here. I like how that, I orient all my switches the same way for the wiring. Put that nut on here. And turn her down. And with that O-ring on there, you're able to cinch that down pretty nice just by fingers. There. So all of our wiring is here in the back, tucked out of the way somewhat. All right. Kind of like that. And then the big reveal here. It's pretty cool, but it's kind of funny at the same time, you know. Yeah, I like that. So I still have 2 more switches that I need to purchase, and then our plate is pretty much complete. Now I'll go around and I'll varathane the back and this edge right here, make it nice and sealed. And then we'll take out all the switches, we'll put some tape up there on that cabinet, set this in place, mark where our holes are, and I will probably, I don't know if I'll use a Forstner bit or a spade bit, or, well, I'm not going to use a hole saw. Yeah, those things. Anyway, we'll get some holes drilled, and that way when we put on our switches, we can just slide this in place, and then we'll figure out how we're going to fasten this down. Haven't quite figured that out. I don't know if I want to use 3M tape, or if I just want to go ahead and use some screws and call that good. So it won't take much just to keep it in place. So I don't know, 3M tape might work, and keep it in place where we want it to be. Anyway, all right, that was that cool little project. So it turned out pretty nice. I'm thrilled with that, and that's gonna that's gonna look pretty good. All these little touch switches. Leave a comment. What do you think? Is that something you have in your rig? Well, maybe not your rig, but sure fits mine. All right, on with the next project.